What's up, guys? This is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, April 29th. Quick look at our little short-term weather forecast here, but pretty beautiful day this evening. Calm seas, calm wind. Looking pretty California outside, if you ask me. Looks like Friday is going to be more of the same. And then Saturday, Sunday, we're going to get a little bit more of this northwest wind and California eddy action. Let's take a quick look here at our wind model. Starting here Wednesday night. This is what we're talking about right now. It's happening. Super light winds. Tomorrow, Thursday, much the same. A little bit of light onshore wind happening, but really nothing to be too concerned about. Most of this wind here is on the outside, not so much on the inside. And then coming into Saturday, you're going to get a little bit change of a pace here. And those northwest winds are going to start whipping up. And kind of get back into more of that June gloom pattern here that we've been having off and on. Or otherwise known as the California eddy. Which is a perfect pattern right there if you just saw it. That's what we're talking about. That's the California eddy. So, again, looking really nasty on the outside. So, that's what we're working with. And as far as the marine forecast goes, pretty much what you just saw there. Thursday, Friday, looking pretty sweet. Saturday, winds coming up in the afternoon. You're going to get this west swell. That's be 3 to 4 feet. And it's going to be a little bit shorter period, so it's going to be probably a little choppy for a private boat. And Sunday, it gets bigger. And obviously, the further west you go, the larger it gets. West swell 4 to 6 feet, and south swell 3 feet. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about heading out on your private boat. This weekend looks more of a sport boat weekend than a private boat weekend, but we'll keep that in mind. Let's talk fishing. Locally, there has been some sporadic yellowtail that's popping up on the 150. There's a couple caught, not gangbusters, super random. Haven't seen anything in the last couple days, but that was earlier this week. My hypothesis is that these might have been some of those mussel farm fish that are the home guards. And I don't know if they came out to play under those tankers that have been hanging out or what, but they're starting to sniff things out. So if you're bored and you really want to target yellowtail and stay close to home, maybe take a peek at the mussel farm. Might be something to look into. Let's talk island fishing. We'll start out at Nick. The Eldorado was out there today. They scratched 3 yellows and a bunch of bottom fish. So doesn't sound like Nick is really doing that great. SBI, I don't know anybody that's looked at it. I think there's a sport boat headed there this weekend to maybe look at yellows and sea bass there. But I cannot confirm any recent information from SBI. Catalina, the squid continues to pile up at the island. And you know what? It's really starting to look better. And I can't tell you or not if there is any squid boats that are going to have squid there for sale this weekend. There was some earlier this week, but again, I can't tell you that they're going to be there or not be there. But if you really need squid, like if you're going to head over to Nick, which seems to only like the squid at the moment because they got that colder water over here, that 55-degree water, you want to pick up some squid if you're going to try Nick. But more than likely, the wind is going to keep you from getting there. So I wouldn't bother with it. But the sea bass fishing at Catalina is quietly starting to pick up. Not too many people talking about it, except for the giant 79-pounder that was weighed in at Balboa Angling Club over the weekend. That thing was a freaking submarine. The rumor is that they lost another one right after it, right at the boat and pulled the hook. So there's probably another 79-pound tanker swimming out there. So that's kind of exciting. As far as the squid goes at the island, man, it's on the front, it's on the back, it's on the east end, it's on the west end. If you know where the typical squid beds are, you know, China Rocks, Palisades, Isthmus, West Cove, you know, some of those usual spots, you're going to need to get there before dark, make some squid. I'd be fishing while I'm making squid. And, you know, make sure you're using a high dropper loop to try and target those fish to keep them biting your hook and not just the squid bed fish. or the squid bed squid themselves. So that's what's going on there. Other than that, no yellows at all. Bass bonita still typical usual deal still happening. But Catalina is starting to look up quietly. Again, you're gonna have to put in the time on these. These fish are caught gray light or just before sunrise, and pitch black or under the squid light. So said if you can make the squid rise, you can make the fish rise. So keep that in mind. Moving further south, San Clemente Island. No one's really been fishing it. I know the water's still pretty turned over and green on the outside here, and no one's really checking out the island. I think it's supposed to be hot this weekend anyway. You got that west swell out there. Again, no one's really looking at it in a sport boat right now. I know Jeff Markland's itching to get out there, but it just hasn't quite turned on yet. I say give it another week or two, and things are going to be a little bit better with this water temp that's heating up here. So, La Jolla, there's been a couple of random yellowtail caught off the beach and along the kelp lines. Nothing crazy. Again, just a couple random ones. About as finicky as those ones we were talking about on the 150. So, don't get your hopes up. But there is a potential there. There is still yellows at Coronado Island, or islands. Unfortunately, they're not biting well. They've been there. They're kind of stuck on this anchovy that's there, and they really are just not cooperating. So most of the full day boats at San Diego are not fishing the islands right now. They're doing the offshore thing, and that's going to lead me into talking about that. Some people have poked around the 9, the 178, the 181, 182. Nothing happening in those areas whatsoever. There has been some rumors of some fish over at the corner by the 43, by the weather buoy, being kelp patty yellowtail, and some bluefin. And it's kind of been the same story for some of those areas down here below the border. Now, it's not wide open. We are looking today at the one-day temp chart here, just for the record. And here's a good look at the one-day chloro, so you can kind of see what we're working with. But that's a pretty good picture, considering it's a one day and we've had some of this eddy condition going on. But green water here along the shore, right? But I want to point out this temp break here that you should really be paying attention to. Oh, now I just lost it. All right, I guess we're going back to 3-day. Oh, that's not a good picture. Man, we just had it. Let me see if I can brighten this thing up here. Yeah, it's looking a little bit better. Well, we had a good picture here, but they just updated the chart. That's a little bit more like it. So anyways, we've been having this northwest wind come down here. And when we had the idea of swirling up, right, which has helped driving up these temperatures here. But this is today or this morning is an actual screenshot here. So we got this temp break that's working along here from the 226 to the 425. And down below, it looks like some of these fish are kelp patty fish, and they're hanging out on these kelp patties. They're flying down with the wind here. So that's where you're going to start looking for that temp break. And usually where that temp break is where you're going to find those kelp patties. And what's been happening is these guys are picking up yellows, and all of a sudden they pick up a random bluefin. Now, I mean, we're not talking like jumbo size bluefin. We're talking school size, that 20 to 40 pound size bluefin. So you'll score like, a boatload of yellows that are 8 to 12 pounds, occasional bigger yellow, and then a random bluefin here and there. So it happened earlier this week. I think the San Diego had like 60 yellows and then 2 bluefin. So that's the area of the one-day boats, is kind of along on this ridge, and that's where they're looking. And some of these 1.5 day boats that have ventured west, check out the Clemente buoy and San Salvador Knoll, seeing the same thing. Now, there is bigger yellows, it seems like, bigger bluefin. They're here south of the San Salvador Knoll. And pretty much everything is working for them right now. During the day, sinker rig. They're also biting the kite with the dead flame fish, or even the double trouble rig, which is pretty fun. And then also, they're biting the jigs. All of the jigs, it turns out. Anywhere from flat falls, Colt snipers, Daiwa SK jigs. And it seems like, the typical bluefin bite is on the slack tide. Usually going into the slack tide off the high tide seems to be the one that's working at the moment. And don't be afraid to try the night bite. If I were on a day and a half boat, I'd only be sleeping on the way out and on the way in, and be fishing my face off the rest of the time, staying up all night, tossing jigs. These guys are getting pretty good fishing at night as well. So it's not a strictly night bite or a strictly day bite. It's kind of an everything bite. So you're just going to have to throw everything at it and try and make it work for you. But that's all we got for now. There is some fish again here below the upper 500. And, this is day and a half range out of the private boat territory. But if you're looking to scalp up some of those yellowtail here Thursday, Friday, maybe early Saturday, again, I'd be looking for this 302, 425 line, temp break, find some kelp patties, and try and put the wood to them. So that's all we got for this week, guys. Cheers, be safe, and have yourselves a great weekend. If you like what you saw today, you can subscribe to our channel or follow us along on Instagram and Facebook. And always remember, share the stoke.